Dave Baszucki, the ever-smiling, always glowing CEO of Roblox, has somehow become one of the most puzzling figures in the entire tech world. And honestly, it's infuriating to watch, because every time this man talks about the platform, it feels like we're watching someone desperately trying to drag a mostly kid-heavy universe into some kind of grown-up playground. And the way he communicates this vision is so painfully awkward, so unintentionally chaotic, that it almost feels like we're witnessing performance art, except nobody's laughing. You look at him in interviews and it's like he's walking a tightrope made of pure tension, wobbling between forced corporate optimism and what looks suspiciously like a slow-motion meltdown. And the moment anyone asks about age-restricted features, older user experiences, or Roblox's bizarre obsession with pushing into mature social spaces, he tightens up so fast it's like someone yanked an alarm inside his head. And you can't help thinking, dude, this is Roblox, not some nightlife innovation nobody asked for. But he talks about these adult-oriented plans with such intensity, such almost defensive passion, that you'd think he's pitching the future of human connection instead of running a platform where half the player base is literally building blocky houses and playing obbies after homework. And the wildest part? It's watching how he reacts when someone pushes back even slightly, instead of calmly explaining anything or acknowledging concerns that people have been yelling about for years. He slips into this jittery, overeager tone like he's frantically trying to glue a smile over a rising panic attack. He starts interrupting the interviewer, cutting people off mid-question, forcing these bizarre moments of, yes, exactly, agreement that nobody actually agreed on. It's like he's terrified that if he lets someone finish a sentence, the entire room will suddenly remember why they're skeptical in the first place. Then, when the interviewer tries to bring up the actual issues, things like safety tools, age checks, the platform's long history of moderation failures, Dave snaps into this strange repetitive loop where he tries to convert every valid criticism into a C. We're totally aligned moment. It feels less like an interview and more like watching a man speedrun a PR script he wrote 5 minutes before walking in. Meanwhile, the elephant in the room, the massive young user base Roblox is built on, is just sitting there like a giant flashing warning sign. And he keeps dodging it, or sidestepping it, or awkwardly trying to pivot to something about innovation or community or the future of social interaction, when literally all anyone wants is for him to address the most basic safety questions. And that's where the rage really kicks in, because instead of facing these concerns head-on, he switches into this hyper-positive, almost salesman-like tone that somehow makes everything feel even more suspicious. It's like watching someone talk faster and faster, hoping the audience won't notice all the unanswered questions piling up in the corner. By the time the conversation reaches anything involving cross-age interaction or inappropriate content slipping through moderation, you can practically see him stiffen up, straighten his posture, and panic pivot back to the grand vision. He starts dreaming out loud about adult hangouts, mature social hubs, and older user features, while safety experts, parents, and half the internet are waving giant red flags yelling, "Hello? We're still dealing with basic safety issues here." But instead of grounding the discussion, he leans harder into positivity, so hard it becomes uncomfortable, because it stops feeling like confidence and starts feeling like denial. And as the interview drags on, this pit forms in your stomach. He doesn't look like a CEO presenting a strategy. He looks like someone trying to convince himself that everything is fine while frantically dodging every tough question. The rapid nodding, the jumpy interruptions, the defensive reactions, the desperate attempts to steer the narrative away from reality. By the end, the whole thing turns into a masterclass in secondhand embarrassment. Not because growth is bad, not because older users shouldn't exist on Roblox, but because the person explaining it keeps treating criticism like an attack, concern like confusion, and safety like an afterthought compared to his dream of what Roblox could become. And until that changes, every time Dave Baszucki sits down for an interview, the internet is going to watch him the same way you watch a roller coaster slowly climb toward the drop. Not sure what's coming next, but absolutely expecting chaos.